Hello, welcome back.
Welcome. Let's just get to it.
Yeah.
All right. Distinct.
Yeah, so we gave you a little intro at the end of the last lecture, but this is really a good way to organize your information so that you're not double counting different users or different events that could have happened more than once in a given month.
Yeah, so sometimes you'll come across tables where the same, let's say in the rental table, the same customer ID will appear multiple times because a customer has made multiple rentals, right? And so in those cases, we don't want to just count the rentals. Sometimes we want to count how many unique what percent of our customer base is actually renting. And so in that case, it'd be interesting to know which of our users are renting from us and not just the number of rentals.
Yes. All right, so let's go through a little example to make it a little bit more clear. So what are we doing here, Dave?
Let's find out how, like that exact example, let's figure out how many distinct renters we get per month.
That is great. All right, let's get to that going.
Skeleton.
All right, so
rental table.
So
Let's take a look at that actually and see what it looks like, the content.
It's always a good idea to take a look back into the table to see what information is there, depending on what problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are trying to see how many distinct renters per month. So we are going to need to know the rental date and probably use that left function that we talked about just now. And then they do have a customer ID, and so we know that relates to a distinct customer. But let's see if we can find an example of a duplicate just right here. I'm not seeing one yet. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen one yet either. This is tough. If we can sort it by that, that'll make it easier for us.
No, I don't want to take the easy way out. Not for these guys. They deserve better.
Jeez, they paid good money for this. Yes.
Exactly.
Let's just search through the whole thing.
All right, let's...
Sorry, guys. There you go.
Okay. So here's an example right here. So you see for customer number 1, they rented at least 2 times. Here's a third. Here's a fourth. All in July of 2005. So if we just did a count of customer IDs for that month, we would get that person would be counted multiple times.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily want that because we want to know how many individuals how many distinct individuals are driving our revenue.
Yep. And Pete, you bring up a good point about typically we use distinct with a count function.
Yes.
And so that's a pretty common area when you'll use distinct. So let's just go through this example right now.
Okay.
So we're going to be grouping it by month because we want it per month. So the first thing on our list should be month.
Yes. So we go left, r.rental_date there, comma 7, just as the one before, as month.
Okay, and then let's just get a count of how many rentals we made that month.
Okay, so
just the raw rentals.
.r.rental ID. So this will give us every rental from the month, a count of
total rentals.
Yeah.
And now let's figure out how many of those rentals came from our customers, distinct customers, basically.
So we want to do a count, and then distinct is really simple to use. You just write it out like that. Whoa. Distinct, space, and then whatever item you want to use. And so in this case, it'll be customer ID. So it'd be r.customer_ID as unique renters.
And then just for kicks, just to combine those two stats together, let's do renters per rental to see, get a rate.
Okay, perfect. So we'll want to just do this. So we'll do the number of total rentals divided by the number of unique renters. And this will tell us the average num rentals per renter.
Yep, exactly.
All right. So, and we'll need to group by 1. There's nothing in the where clause because we don't want to restrict it. And so let's go over here to the query land.
Queryland.
And this is very interesting. Okay.
So if we just looked at rentals, we might have thought July was an awesome month.
Yeah.
But it seems that the average person was renting 11 rentals.
Exactly. So that must have been a big month. Everyone was on the summer break. Their kids were just home all day. They rented a million movies.
TV
for them.
babysitter time.
But this gives us some really cool insight because if we just looked at total rentals, maybe we're like, oh wow, we're adding in tons of new people are coming to rent movies from us.
Yeah.
If But now that we have this unique renter's ID or this unique renter's number, we see like, oh wow, we didn't really grow the number of renters, but those renters were just renting tons more movies. And so then that could be a reason. Okay, let's look into this a little bit more. Why are people doing that? Like, did we do some big campaigns? Did we give like discounts at bulk purchase, like bulk rentals?
Yep.
This will really give you. It'll be a good like KPI to look at. And
it'll
get information from.
Yeah, maybe we can maybe if it's not something we did, if it's just seasonal, we could think about how can we use the fact that people tend to rent more in the summer months to our advantage. What can we do?
Jack up the prices.
Jack up the prices? I don't know, just rolling the dough.
All right, so that is how you can use the distinct function. And so now we're gonna give you a little brain buster as we like to do, and we want you guys to tell us the number of distinct films that are rented each month. It's important for your business to know what % of their movie library is actually getting rented and earning money for the company. So this is another great way to look at it, because in this case, if we were just looking at total rentals, we could say like, oh wow, like every movie must have been rented a lot more, but maybe we'll find out there were like 2 movies that got rented like tons of times. Maybe some summer blockbuster.
Yep.
We'll see, but work on that, and we will be waiting at the next lecture for you.
Peace.